What's going on, Workforce? Brian here for Work to Game, and today we're breaking down the 4 javelins of Anthem, asking the question, what javelin are you javelin? I apologize for that pun. Okay, so if you're still with me, I do apologize and thanks for sticking this out. But I want to also kind of make a note that when you're playing Anthem, you're going to be able to kind of pick any of your starting javelins. And from there, as you level up, you're going to unlock these javelins. You do not level up the javelins specifically, rather you level up your pilot. You do and will have a gear score that is associated with each javelin, and as you play the javelin, you're going to unlock gear for that. That's what's going to drop primarily for whatever javelin you're currently maining at that time. So just keep in mind there is some separation. At any point you can jump in to the different ones when starting a mission, but at its core, your really level and eye level are going to be completely separate, and so you don't have to level up your Ranger or your Storm or your Interceptor in a traditional fashion that you might be thinking of. Anyway, that being said, that information out there, let's talk about the Ranger first, and then we're going to go through the rest of the javelins, give you some core information so that hopefully you can make the best decision when either playing out the demo or starting the game here in February. So first with the Ranger, they want you to unleash your firepower. This is piloted by both freelancers and sentinels, and this iconic suit's versatility is really what makes it deadly. With strong offensive capabilities, respectable defense, and something in its arsenal for every situation, the Ranger is a jack of all trades that your squad needs. Your focus is going to be on versatility. Your offensive style is going to be single target. Your defensive move is dash. Your jump style is double jump. And your playstyle is that of a soldier. You're going to be on the front lines. You're going to have a lot of flexibility. You're going to have a lot of power to bring to the fight. Now, javelins have a lot of abilities, so here are just a few. Your melee ability is Shock Mace. This is going to be a nice electric stick to the face of your enemies when you choose to melee, obviously putting out electric type damage. And now your ultimate ability is a multi-target missile defense battery. Unload on your enemies with a volley of missiles and you can lock onto dozens of moving targets at once. Now, as far as gear, there's lots of different things you can do, and this applies to everybody. You have components, you have all of these different things. But with the Ranger specifically, you're going to have 3 unique pieces of gear. 2 pieces of assault gear, and 1 piece of support gear. And this is going to be how you build out your Ranger. So let's talk about grenades and the Ranger itself. So you have a frag grenade, an inferno grenade, a frost grenade. These are all going to have different properties, where the frag grenade is going to have a large blast area and massive damage, and your inferno grenade is going to set enemies on fire and it's going to deal continuous damage. And your frost grenade is going to freeze opponents in place, and this will lead really well into different combos. The Ranger also has secret grenades. This is going to lob 1 grenade that splits into multiple enemy-seeking missiles. And finally, sticky grenades. This is one of my personal favorites from Halo. But you basically hit an enemy with this grenade and it's going to latch onto them and it's going to deal damage with extreme prejudice. So from your assault launcher, you're going to have a seeking missile. This is going to fire a projectile that seeks out single targets and others immediately around them. You also have a pulse blast. Blast a single target with a massive burst of energy. You have a spark beam, which is going to unleash a beam of energy that does continuous damage to anything it touches. You have venom darts, inflicting burning acid damage with a volley of darts. And then you have blast missile. This is going to clear the field with a missile that damages a huge area around the point of impact. And finally, rounding this all out, your support gear. You have bulwark point, which is going to keep enemies out of your bubble with a spherical shield that protects your squad. Or you could take muster point. This is going to cover your teammates with a spherical shield that increases their weapon damage. The Ranger, again, a jack of all trades. You're going to have a lot of firepower. And this one shouldn't be, just wrapped up as this all-encompassing, the first one you try before you go to your main. Ranger mains are going to be able to be very devastatingly powerful and really round out your team, especially with those support abilities. Okay, so now let's talk about the Colossus, the tank of this game. He is the only one that's also able to carry heavy style weapons. And that's kind of a little, caveat that all the others can carry all the other weapons, but the Colossus really brings a difference here when it comes just to your weapons, loadouts, and options. So for a Colossus, they want you to unleash your destruction. If you think subtlety is overrated and you want enough weapon and firepower to take out a small army, unleash the pure devastation of this hulking war machine. Now, its focus type is going to be resilience, its offensive style is multi-target. Its defensive move is that of the shield, which you can block and guard and run through mines with, as we've seen in many of the trailers before. Its jump type is a rocket jump, and its playstyle is that of a heavy-hitting tank. Now, as far as the Colossus abilities to highlight, we have a flamethrower. This is going to set everything in front of you in fire, and it looks so amazing from the trailers that we've seen. I cannot wait to go hands-on with that. And then also you have the ordnance launcher. This is a high explosive mortar. Basically launch a projectile that's going to devastate the area and every enemy inside of it. I cannot wait to blow something up with that. So for your abilities and how you choose to build out the Colossus, you're going to have something very similar to that of the Ranger. You're going to have 3 unique pieces of gear, 2 pieces of assault, and 1 piece of support. And if it wasn't clear, you also have components to really round this out, which is 6 across the board. So that's really where your build also is going to be made up in, with the weapon drops and rolls. So just keep that in mind. So first, let's go ahead and start off with your assault gear. We've already talked about the high explosive mortar, but you also have a burst mortar. Launch a volley of mini mortars that blast everything into a huge area. Then you also have firewall mortar. Light the battlefield on fire with a huge wall of flame. You also have lightning coil. This is going to give your enemies a shock with the arc of electricity that targets a random enemy. And then you also have shock coil. This is going to hit every target around you with waves of electricity. Then you also have siege artillery. Equip this a classic and hit your enemies with the hefty rocket. Then we've already seen this, flamethrower. You could also pick flat cannon. So this basically says put your opponents down with a short range scattershot blast. And if you want to focus in on single targets, you can take the railgun, hit one enemy hard with a destructive kinetic projectile. And finally, under assault gear again, Venom Spitter. This is going to unleash multiple arcing shots of acid to put down your enemies. So for support gear, you could take Battle Cry or Shield Pulse. Battle Cry is going to incite enemies to attack you while lowering their elemental and physical resistances. Hey, we said it was a tank. Or you can take Shield Pulse. Give your friends a damage resistance buff. So if you're running multiple Colossuses, kind of maybe decide who's taking which support gear. Anyway, it sounds really exciting and I cannot wait to see the raw destruction that the Colossus dishes out. Okay, so next up, let's talk about the Interceptor. The Interceptor, it's that fast in, dash in, melee, back out, fly away with a little bit of style type of class for you. If you guys are considering agility as kind of the thing you want, that ultimate speed, think of the Interceptor. So they say they want you to unleash your speed. The Interceptor excels at getting close to deal damage to enemies, then dashing away before they can even react. They want you to unleash lightning-fast maneuverability to pull off powerful offensive abilities, and the Interceptor makes the impossible look easy. Its focus is on agility, its offensive style is a single target. Its defensive move is triple dash, and its jump type is a triple jump. I cannot wait to see how that plays out. So its playstyle is fast and precise. In my mind, I always think of a shoddy sniper kind of class here, where you can run in, do some really heavy damage up close, and back out to be safe and secure from afar. So let's talk about the Interceptor's abilities. So for your support system, you have Target Beacon. This is one where you make your enemies an easy target by increasing the damage that your allies do to them. From your assault system, you've got Venom Bomb. Have your enemies feel the burn when a well-placed acid bomb explodes and really just wrecks everybody. So for your gear and abilities, this is kind of a little bit different. So you can customize your loadout with 3 unique pieces of gear. In this case, it's known as systems for the Interceptor. You have an assault system, a strike system, and a support system. Under the assault systems, you have Searching Glaive. You have Venom Bomb, which we already talked about. And then you have Cryo Glaive. So for the Searching Glaive, this is just a homing glaive that you're going to throw out. Your Cryo Glaive is going to lock up to 2 nearby targets and freeze them on impact. Then you also have Cluster Mine and Spark Dash. Cluster Mine is going to allow you to throw out groups of mines into a targeted area. And your Spark Dash is going to allow you to dash forward, leaving behind a damaging trail of electricity. Now under your strike systems, you have Detonating Strike. This is a melee strike that charges an enemy with an electric energy, and if it's killed while charged, the enemy will explode, dealing damage to everybody around them. Then you have Plasma Star. This is going to be a plasma empowered shuriken that's going to hit a single target, and it's very effective at long range. You also have Wraith Strike. This is going to send out a projection of the Interceptor to attack enemies. And then you also have Tempest Strike, a melee strike that deals high physical damage and force. And finally, rounding out your strike systems is Venom Spray. This is going to spray out corrosive acid that's damaging everybody it comes in contact with. Under the support systems, we got 2 options here, Target Beacon and Rally Cry. Target Beacon is going to mark an enemy, allowing enemies to increase obviously the damage to them. And then Rally Cry clears harmful status effects from the entire team, and that seems really epic. We don't really have a healer in Anthem, and so that almost kind of blends into it. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out and if that's something that is super useful long term. And finally, last but not least, let's talk about the Storm. This is personally what I'm thinking of leaning to. I don't want to influence anybody in making Storm decisions. Storm for life, yo. But they want you to unleash your magic. This is a glass cannon. This is the powerhouse. This has got that endless hover that you can kind of be floating up there with a little bubble shield and raining down destruction. So the Storm channels the raw energy of the Anthem through its seals to hover over the battlefield and dish out damage. With its powerful seals and minimal armor, the Storm is a tempestuous javelin that can challenge the skills of even a veteran lancer. So your focus with the Storm is going to be pure firepower. Your offensive style is Area of Effect. Your defensive move is Blink Teleport. Your jump type here is going to be Hover, and your playstyle is that, again, of the Glass Cannon. This is your mage of all mages within your mighty suit of armor. So some skills to highlight. Frost Shards falling under the Focus Seal. Blast frozen shards that slowly freeze whoever they hit and put your opponents on ice. Or your ultimate ability, the Elemental Storm. This is where you call down a torrent of energy. A storm decimates a targeted area and any foe is unlucky enough to be standing inside. So the Storm's gear system is somewhat of the Interceptor. You have a Blast Seal, a Focus Seal, and a Support Seal. Under the Blast Seals, first you have Lightning Strike. This is an Area of Effect lightning attack. You also have Ice Storm. This is going to place targeted fields of ice that explode with frost damage and freeze enemies. You have Flame Burst, a quick explosion that deals fire damage at the targeted location. You can also pick Ice Blast. This is going to hurl huge chunks of ice that deal massive force and freeze enemies in close range. And finally, rounding out the blast seals, you have Living Flame, a burst of flame energy that seeks out and ignites targets. Under the Focus Seals category, you have Frost Shards, rapid fire shards of ice that slowly freeze a target in place. But you also have Burning Orb, a versatile fire ability that can be fired quickly in small shots or charged up for a larger projection that explodes. Now, Shock Burst is going to be a discharge of electric energy that can be bounced off of walls to reach their target behind cover. That sounds really epic. Or you can take Glacial Spear. This fires a beam of powerful ice energy in the targeted's direction. And finally, rounding out your Focus Seals is Arc Burst. This unleashes a bolt of lightning that will leap to nearby targets for heavy damage. And finally, for your Support Seals, you can take Wind Wall or Quickening Field. Wind Wall is going to create a wall that basically blocks all enemy projectiles, and while Quickening Field actually creates a field that reduces the cooldown of abilities on allies who enter. So that wraps us up for the Ranger, the Colossus, the Interceptor, and the Storm. You really can't go wrong with how you pick because you're going to get access to each one. Hopefully this has been interesting. Hopefully this has been a help for you. Hopefully you can dive in and really get started on who you're going to main for Anthem. Let me know in the comments below if you have a main already, if you're thinking you're going to go one way or the other, or if you're still on the fence and you obviously want to try them all out. I look forward to hearing from you and what you choose and what you decide and why you decided to choose it. I think that will be the most interesting thing of all. But anyway, guys, for Work to Game, my name's Brian. Thanks so much for watching this video. Hopefully it's been a help. But I'm going to wish you guys a fantastic day and a fantastic week, and I will see you guys all in Anthem. But until next time and until my next video, take care. Hey, it's me. It's been a while since I talked to you guys directly this way, but don't tell anybody. We've got even more epic content planned for this channel. The response has been incredible. We hope to see you. If you're new, hit subscribe, leave us a comment. I'd like to talk to you more about video games. I can't seem to speak my language. All right.